Hey girls, happy Friday. Or is it happy? So listen, this is what I mean by that. So many of you have individually and even in groups said to me, I am so sick of losing the same 2 pounds, the same 3 pounds over and over and over again. And I know what's happening. It's happening on the weekends. So, you're either feeling like, yeah, it's the weekend, or you're like, oh my gosh, it's the weekend. So after this video, hey, Tina and Diana, listen, if you're sick of it, if you're done gaining and losing, and I'm stuck in this place and I know it's the weekends, by the end of this video, you'll have a mindset shift and some strategies in place, super practical, so that you, get unstuck. That's the goal. Now listen to me. I could stand here in my screen porch and talk to you for 4 hours. And what's happening is the videos are getting longer and longer. So in order to keep this video short so that everyone can watch it, I made a cheat sheet for you. So if you want the cheat sheet on how to get through the weekend without sabotaging yourself, I want you to put cheat sheet down in the comments, live or replay, and I'll zip it over to you. Super practical stuff about portions and alcohol and restaurants and parties and houses, events. So it's just too much for me to cover here. So let's go. Sick of gaining and losing. The first thing that you have to do is realize this. It's about perspective. Let me give you the right perspective on the whole mess. Remember, if you are my client, if you're in Simple Steps, losing weight, if you're doing your own good program or you have a grip by yourself, listen to me, this is temporary. Right? So you're not going for the rest of, if you're in a really good program or doing your own good program, you're not going to be strategizing forever. You're going to get to your healthy weight and relax. And then when you gain 2 or 3 pounds, having lost 30, you're going to know exactly what to do to get it off. So just remember, unless you drag it out for the rest of your life, having done a quick fix of, some pill or program, or self-sabotaging every single week in the rest of your life, this right here, this frustrating pocket of annoyance is temporary. So just really keep that in mind, and get the perspective of, if I can just string a couple weekends together, I'll be over it. Meaning done. I will have lost my weight and I can just relax, for crying out loud. So that's the first thing, is just realize, get the mindset, this is not forever. Get the mindset, hey Jessica, get the mindset that if I can just get my grip for a couple of weekends, it's over. And I can just do my own thing without constantly strategizing. So the next step, so the first step is get the right perspective. The next thing I want you to do is, and you already know this, and I don't want to be ever condescending to you, but I'll say it anyway. You've got to decide ahead of time what you're going to do. So you've got to go in with the will, okay, I'm staying on track. That's the end of it. I'm done fooling around. I want this weight off of me. I don't want to do this the rest of my life. So I'm making a decision. I'm kicking this weekend in the tail. And that means going in resolved. But what does that mean exactly? It means you have to have a plan. You have to have a strategy going in. That's first, and we're going to do that together here in a second. But remember, all the coaching videos that I've done before, you have to have that resolve, but that resolve, listen to me, comes from your queen, the adult, intelligent, disciplined version of yourself. Your highest self is in control, meaning, you know who's not in control? A lot of you girls know where I'm going with this. Your brat is not in control. the inner child that's like, I deserve French fries. That kid is in the back seat. You're in control. You're driving the bus. The other, and I've got a lot of you girls, you're rebel, not in control. You're Miss like, just forget it. I'm doing what I want. She's also in the back seat because you, the queen, are driving this bus through the weekend. And then the other, remember, our third personality is the inner critic. So this is what happens. You get to Friday and you're like, who cares? You're going to screw up anyway. You've lost and gained 30 pounds over and over. Like, just forget that inner critic out of here. I don't even want her in the back seat. I want her on the side of the road. So listen, it takes the right perspective. This is not forever. If you're in simple steps, losing 30 pounds, if you're on your own, losing whatever weight you have to lose, this part right here is temporary. Number 2, resolve. The queen in me is in charge of this thing because I don't want to do it forever. Okay, moving on. If you're going to have resolve, it means you have to have a strategy. So let's talk about that. Is everyone okay? Tina, Diana, Jessica, it's us 4 girls. I love you. So listen to me again, live or replay. I have all the super practical million tips on a cheat sheet. If you want it, put cheat sheet in the comments for me. It's just too much to cover in one video. But let's do a bird's eye view strategy for you to not self-sabotage on the weekends. First of all, this is so good. Listen to me. Weekday nutrition is so important leading into an event or weekend. And this is what I want you to ask yourself and really analyze. It's this: am I being too restrictive all week long? So that by the weekend, am I like going hog wild because I feel deprived? That's a really important thing I want you to ask yourself is, what does my weekday look like? Am I killing myself so that by the time Friday, Saturday rolls around, I just lose my mind? So look hard at that. And if you do feel like you're being too restrictive all week long, what can you do to loosen that up? If you're somebody that has a sweet tooth, if you're somebody that likes a glass of wine with dinner, don't deprive yourself of those things, because what will happen is you'll binge. Remember our restrict binge cycle? Make sure that that cycle isn't restricting all week long so that you binge on the weekends. I want you to enjoy every day. I want you to not restrict anything. Do everything in moderation. So that's the first thing. Weekday nutrition is essential. Don't restrict. It's also essential because I want you to be sure, on the flip side of not restricting, is make sure you're eating clean. If you know that you have an event coming up, or that there's events all weekend long, every weekend, you need to make sure that you're eating super tight all week. Not to the point where you're going to binge, but don't be dumb. Like, don't waste your calories on some mindless eating when you know you'd rather have whatever at your party on the weekend. So make sure you're not too restrictive, and make sure you're not too messy on the weekdays. So that's the first strategy. All right, Beth and Cindy joined us. Girls, if you have any feedback for me, live or replay, or any comments, put them down there. It's super weird for me to not see you. Okay, moving on. So weekday nutrition, look hard at it. Number 2 is the morning or the day before. What I want you to do, if you're my client, you are tracking macros. We know exactly what we're putting into our bodies so that we can eat whatever we want. That's just the way it works. If you are someone doing it on your own, make sure that you put whatever you think you're going to indulge in into your calorie count, your macro count first in the beginning of the day. My girls know this, so that all day long, if they know they're going to consume 800 calories at their party, then all day long they can have tons of nourishing, feeling full food, but it's going to look like lean meats and lots of fresh vegetables. So, which is, you feel the best on that anyway, honestly. So that's first, is make sure that you're eating around that event so that you can enjoy yourself. The second thing that I want to tell you, and you're probably not going to believe this, is to earn your calories with a little bit more movement. So I'm a big proponent of exercise. I'm an athlete. I love it. I would die if I couldn't lift weights or run. But I've also always taught my clients for 20 years or more that it's dumb to try to burn off fat with exercise. It's very inefficient. You're better to control your nutrition to get rid of the fat instead of spending 4 hours on the treadmill. That's dumb. So, but what I do want to tell you is if you can move more during the week, and if you can move more the day of, the day before, and you've burned 300 calories doing whatever, then that means that you can relax a little bit more at your event. Just makes sense. It's science. So that's next. So put it in your macros or your log and eat around it. Second, earn your calories with a little bit more movement. And this is a third one. Oh, this is huge. The third one that I want to tell you, hi Irene. The third one that I want to tell you is this. And I think this is what's happening to a lot of my girls, is if you're showing up into your weekend exhausted and the party is that day or a few hours from you feeling like, oh my God, you are going to show up craving all the things that give you the dopamine and serotonin and all the stuff. So what I want you to make sure that you're doing the day before, the day of your event, so looking at Thursday, Friday, whatever, Saturday morning, whenever your event is, enter that thing rested. I can show you graphs from every client I've ever coached in my software. If their sleep is low, their weight is up. If their sleep is low, they've plateaued. But they are definitely not losing weight when their sleep is jacked up. My girls know this. So I want you to teach you this, that if you show up into a party and you're exhausted, you're gonna have no will to say, no, I'm good, I'll have the whatever instead. You're going to just be like, oh, look at the pizza. And you're not going to have one piece. You're going to have all the pieces. So really show up rested so that your brain and your hormones are regulated in a way that you don't literally crave the things that are going to sabotage your weight loss. Show up rested. So questions, comments, anybody? So the day of, this is what I want to tell you. If you're going to a restaurant, if you're someone who eats out a lot, I have a lot of girls in my program who love restaurants. They love to eat out. They love the food, but they also love the environment. If this is you, it doesn't mean that on the weekends you just like, well, guess we're eating out, no, you can't do that. What I want you to do is before you go to whatever restaurant it is, look at their menu. There's not a restaurant in the world that, maybe mom and pop shop, but listen, most restaurants have given you the ability to look at their menu ahead of time. You know it. So go on there, and what I want you to do is make healthy choices before you get there. It's the resolve. The queen is in charge. Your brat, your rebel is going to be like, I'm getting lasagna. I don't even care. No. Queen's in charge. She's doing something different. So look at that menu ahead of time and really be strategic. And remember, it's temporary. You don't have to be strategic the rest of your life. We just have to do this much work right here until you're healthy, until the weight is off. It's temporary. So remember that because you start to feel sorry for yourself a little bit, right? Like, I'm sick of this. Well, if you're sick of it, girl, don't drag it out any longer. Let's just get this work done. I will help you. and we'll get it over with so that you can just go and look at the menu and go, I think I'm having lasagna. And it won't make a difference. Serious, it's power. All right, so look at the day of, look at the menu before you get there. If you're going to someone's home, it's a little trickier. Buffets, let me tell you straight up, they're not a problem because no one's really paying attention to what you're eating. And this is something I want to tell you. Don't draw attention to yourself going, oh, I'm just going to have a carrot stick. I'm on a diet. No, you're not. First of all, you're not on a diet if you're with me. And second of all, you don't want all of that attention because you know what's coming next is them saying, what, girl, you don't need to do that. Why are you No, just avoid that whole thing. What I want you to do, if you know it's a social event where it's party food everywhere, listen to this tip. It's so easy. Show up full. It really is that easy. If you know there's going to be all kinds of crap there that really you probably don't even really like. I mean, how many pigs in a blanket and meatball? You know what I mean? Like most of the time it's not worth your calories. So if I am going somewhere like that, I show up full and rested so that I don't lose my mind. So eat your meal, your biggest meal at home. And then when you show up, nibble socially. It's no big deal. A couple hundred calories versus, a ton of calories. And you're enjoying yourself still, but you're not trying to meet that serotonin need because you're likely tired, I know. And you're also not starving. So show up full. There's a bug on my screen porch. The other thing, listen, if it's a dinner, like sit down, don't be rude and not eat her food, but you can watch your portions. Like fill your plate up, but fill it up with all the salad and just a little bit of lasagna. And just don't have a discussion. They don't need to know why you're eating the way you're eating. And they should be eating the way that you're eating. So set the example, but don't be rude, obviously. What else? Alcohol. It's a big one for a lot of people. And what I want you to just remember is plan around it. If you know you're having whatever drinks, go ahead and log that and look at the calories, plan around it. In the cheat sheet, again, if you want the cheat sheet, I have lots of tips on how not to consume drink all your calories. So put cheat sheet in if you want it. But this is the thing is remember when you are drinking, you lose your mind. You lose your inhibitions. So you have a drink or two and all of a sudden you're like, I don't even care. Yeah, I'll have more pizza. I'll have more whatever. So just remember that you're taking a risk of overindulging when you drink. Now, remember again that it's temporary. I keep saying that because I don't want you to get discouraged, but it really is. It's temporary. Now, post-game, meaning when it's all over, what I want you to do is look at what you did, what worked for you, because you had your strategy going in. Did it work? Did it not work? If it worked, do it again. Make that part of your building resiliency. What I mean by that is the more we do this, if we can string a couple weekends together and you know what you did right, now it becomes part of who you are. So when I go to parties and stuff, I don't struggle anymore because for all of these years, I've worked really hard on saying, you know what, I didn't even like that food. What was I doing? And doing something different the next time and having it work and being like, oh my gosh, that was so easy. So take note of what worked well at your event. Did you show up full and you're like, golly, why didn't I think of that before? Or did you show up, another one's hydrated, show up hydrated, rested, full. Ooh, those are good. Listen to me. Hydrated, rested, full. Show up like that, and half your problems are out the window. So look at what went right. The second thing is, look at what went wrong. Did you show up starving, exhausted, and ticked off? Then we know what to fix, don't we? So look at what went right, look at what went wrong, and realize that the more you test all of this trial and error, the more you'll just get better at it. You really will. So I don't want you ever to to not enjoy your life. I don't want you ever to not look forward to your weekends. Look hard at trying to be perfect and not offering yourself grace. Listen to me. If this is something that you're going to do the rest of your life, where you're living healthy, you're changing habits, you're making a difference, setting an example for your children and your grandchildren, then you have time to learn. Some of you need to get on it and get your health back. It's very, very important for you and your family that you have longevity and live long, happy, quality life. So don't fool around anymore. I want you to have the mindset, it's temporary. I'm going to string a couple weekends together. But then if you do fail, if you do feel like, golly, I did it again, just figure it out. What did I do wrong? And fix it. It's really that simple. So if you want the cheat sheet, again, I've said it 50 times, put cheat sheet. If you need a consult from me, I do free 15-minute strategy calls all the time. I love them so much. It's probably because it's one of the only places I get to hear your voice or see your face. So if you want a strategy call, I can do that too. But listen to me. You have this. You got it. So no stress. I want you to get a little ticked off, meaning I'm not doing this the rest of my life. I'm not doing this the rest of my life. I'm going to string a couple weekends together so that I can just chill. But then, enter the stuff rested and the way weekends should be. It should be filling you back up. So rested and hydrated and full tummy of nourishing, good, healthy food. You'll be fine. So I love you. I'm here for you. Girls that join me live, I love it that you're with me. Some new girls and girls that are on the replay, comment, go crazy. I love it. So I'll be in touch and have a good weekend. No stressing, and we'll chat soon. See ya. Bye.